Hello. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday night. Welcome to the show. Hope I can get my microphone. I always say I'm setting up the stream and then I forget about one of the most important parts. This thing is really wobbly tonight. I need to work on that. I gotta work on everything these days. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hello, Jennifer. Hey, Ice. Hey, Kathy. Hope y'all are doing fine. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday night, ready for the weekend. I know I'm ready for the weekend. I'm tired. I'm always tired. Of course, it's late night after 10 o'clock tonight, or right at 10 o'clock. So I wanted to get to a question right away. I had somebody actually ask me a question. We're coming up on flea season. I know some people get fleas early. Typically, I don't start getting flea calls until around August or September. But it's been exceptionally warm this year. So she says she's got problems with fleas in and around the home. She's got a lot of wildlife, lives in the woods, out in the country, and wants to know if there's anything that she can do to help with the flea situation that she's got, wondering how she should treat in her house. She says she feels like every time her pets go outside, that they're going to continue to bring fleas into the house every single time they go in and out of the house. So even if she treats her dogs, that they're basically, the fleas are using the animals as a taxi service in and out of the house. Asked about Alpine WSG, that's what they used indoors, which is what I recommend. And also asked about, let's see, someone actually asked me if they should use Alpine on their furniture, and the answer is yes. So Alpine is actually labeled, and let me just do this. Let's see. So this is a label for Alpine WSG, and I looked it up just to make sure that I wasn't going to give bad information. And so if you look down here at fleas, let's see, picture is it? Zoom out a little bit. All right. So fleas apply to infested areas or potentially infested areas such as rugs, floors, carpets, upholstered furniture, which would be like sofas, lazy boy recliners, things like that. Pet beds, pet resting areas. When applying to upholstered furniture, treat under cushions and areas where flea development can occur. Do not treat pets with this product. So if you're having problems with fleas, not just do you want to treat the floors and the areas under rugs and carpets, you also want to treat your couches, sofas, inside recliners, and things like that. So I wanted to make sure I got that. And also, one of the biggest problems with treating your yard for fleas is fleas hatch on about a 2 to 3 week basis. So it's about, the life cycle takes about 3 weeks. And so you may have to treat your yard, once a month for 2 or 3 months in order to eliminate all the fleas in your yard. And especially if you've got a lot of wildlife coming in and out of the yard, dropping fleas off, you may have to treat your yard more often. So just keep that in mind when doing flea treatments. I thought I did have another question through Skype. Good morning. Crossfire can't be shipped to me since I'm in New York. Kindly advise of what is the next best bed bug product. Thank you. Your advice is greatly appreciated. So the problem with living in New York, a lot of people don't know this, is Crossfire can't be purchased in the state of New York. So the biggest thing is, I just did a video on this actually. Let's see. Where is it? Hey everybody. I need to turn that off. Okay, yeah, I did. Tempered versus Crossfire. So if you're having problems and you just absolutely cannot get Crossfire, you can use Tempered. You just have to treat more often. So I did a video, and I'll show this too. So if you're on my YouTube, go up, click subscribe. I have to say that all the time. They say if you don't ask your audience to subscribe to you, they won't. So I'm asking, subscribe to me, so you will. But anyway, you scroll down, and it's like my third video. See, there's the one I just put out. She thought she had bed bugs, but it was worse. That's a pretty good video. But this is the live stream we did last week, and this is Tempered versus Crossfire. So I actually do a comparison of the two pesticides. And so I recommend you watch this video if you're having problems living in New York or Canada and need to back up to a different pesticide other than Crossfire. Which product do you recommend the most to use in the yard for fleas? Said Jessica. Oh, well, let's get to this other question first. I'm not going to try to say. I'm going to call you Moby. Moby says, hey, Jason, what do you think about Semexa dust for bed bugs? I don't like dust for bed bugs. I don't like using dust for... I don't think that the consumer should use dust for insect control. There's a lot of problems with dust as far as inhalation. It ups your chances of failure a lot with dust, and not just failure, but to harm yourself. And so I don't recommend dust for any kind of bugs at all. Not bed bugs, not ants, not roaches, nothing. Unless you're a professional. That's what I think. That's how I feel about it. It's a very touchy thing. It's very easy to make a mistake with dust and hurt yourself. So I don't recommend dust. But Crossfire, you don't need dust at all. If you use Crossfire, you don't need dust because it's a pretty much an end-all solution. It works really, really well for bed bug control. So Jessica says, what product do you recommend the most to use in the yard for fleas? So The video that I have for fleas actually goes over those products. In fact, let me show you what you could do so you don't actually have to watch the video if you don't want to. But if you go to my channel and you click subscribe and then you click down here and you type fleas, enter. All right. In my very first video, how to get rid of fleas guaranteed, 4 easy steps. So you click this video and you scroll down and let's see, show more here. You see, you go to show more and you scroll down and these are the products that I recommend. I put the links in every video so you don't have to actually watch the whole video if you don't want to. How to get rid of fleas guaranteed. This video will show and explain the step-by-step solution for total flea control inside and outside of your home. It's got my Amazon store, which if you click that and you go there, this is my Amazon store. And it's got, I think fleas are actually listed. Yep, there's flea control products. This is what I recommend for control of fleas. And then if you go back to the video, you've also got, these are the actual products. There's Alpine, Bifin Granules. This is for outdoors. Demon Max is also for outdoors. It says Demon Max or an outside spray with the water hose. So this is one. See, there's the Demon Max there. And then you can go here. Hose pesticides. So see, it says here Demon Max outside spray without a water hose. So this is a pesticide you would use if you're not going to use a water hose. But if you do want to use a water hose, you go here and it gives you the actual pesticide that you could use to treat your yard with that isn't a granular. And so, like I said, I go over all of this in this video. In fact, I will copy the link and post it in chat so you can have an easy access to the video so you can watch it. It's what, 15 minutes? It's not very long. I have this rule of thumb about all of my videos is that I try to keep them under 20 minutes. Some of them do go longer than 20 minutes, but this one is only 14 minutes and 9 seconds. So it's something you could just sit down and watch pretty easily, drinking a cup of coffee if you wanted to. And it's not something you're going to have to sit and watch forever. Like even this video here, fleas, how to eliminate them with success. It's a 9-minute video. Why flea foggers don't work. It's a almost 10-minute video. Flea trouble solved, 10.5 minutes. So I try to keep my videos really small and easy to understand. And if I have to, I break it up into multiple videos so you don't have to sit there and watch an hour. The only videos that are longer than 15, 20 minutes are my live streams, which typically go from about an hour to 2 hours long, just depending on how many questions I get asked, how many people show up, and yeah. So, and how many donations come through the super chat. I'm just kidding. So Ice Mess, I actually have a few questions. Are bed bug bites itchy? What are some of the patterns they could be? So bed bug bites are bug bites are hard to actually diagnose. So even doctors can't truly diagnose a bug bite. They can have a general idea of what a bug bite looks like, but even bug bites, even blisters and things like that you can get from an allergic reaction can appear to look like a bug bite. Typically, the most people that get bed bug bites, they usually complain about an extreme itch or even a burning sensation. So like I have one customer that had them, she got bit so severely that she actually had pain from the bites. She had severe pain. She had to hold ice packs on the bites to get the swelling to go down. She swole that much from the bites. So, she's got a very extreme case of allergic reaction to bed bug bites. And then other people have no reaction at all. In fact, you can't even find a bite mark on them because they're not reacting from the bites in any way. So it's a very broad spectrum of reactions from bug bites, from bed bugs. So it's it's different for person. But the typical bed bug pattern, the most common and what most everybody complains about are 3-4 bites clustered together. They'll either be in a little cluster, like a round little cluster like that, or they'll be, dot, 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 like that, just little lines. And the reason they do this is because when bed bugs feed, they bite you and they start to engorge on blood. They get clumsy and they fall off. And they bite you again and they fall off. And they bite you again and they fall off. And so until they get full, they will do that. Sometimes they fall off just once or twice. Sometimes they get a whole entire blood meal with just one bite. But if you're not a heavy sleeper and you toss and turn a little bit, the bug's going to fall off. He's going to bite you in a new spot. And so they usually don't go far from where they bit you the original time. They bite you and then they bite you several times in a row. Do you think bed bugs have become resistant to Crossfire? Nope, I don't. I have not run into any chemical resistances in Crossfire at all. In fact, if it takes me more than 1 or 2 visits, it's typically because the bed bugs are being reintroduced into the house. In fact, every single time for the last 4 years that I've used Crossfire, every time the bed bugs took longer than 2 visits to get rid of, it was because they were being reintroduced. And honestly, even most of the second visits were because of reintroduction. Whether it was a school bus, whether it were just people, friends, family coming to visit, bringing them back into the house, or just from the trunk of the car, because people were bringing them in from their automobiles and not even realizing that the bed bugs were in their automobile. So, it was always reintroduction, not because the bed bugs weren't dying. In fact, I would go and find thousands of bed bugs dead everywhere. Which also brings me to something. So I've got a new video going up Tuesday, and I actually did a teaser video today about it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about that tonight on stream. And I had a lady that contacted me with a bed bug problem about maybe a week or so ago. And actually, my wife was talking to her through the Facebook. Because so my wife is an admin for chat, if she's ever here. Sometimes she's here, sometimes she's not. But she's an admin for YouTube, and she's also an admin on my Facebook page. And so sometimes when you talk to me on Facebook, she answers the message, or I answer the message. One of us usually gets to it. And the lady was talking, and she was actually talking to my wife, and she said that she couldn't figure out why the bed bugs she had weren't dying as quickly after she sprayed Crossfire. So she was spraying the Crossfire, and the bed bugs were dying within like 5 minutes, and they were dying, and she was finding lots of dead bed bugs. But the next day when she would go into the room, the bed bugs would be crawling over a surface she knew she treated, and they weren't dying right away anymore. And she wanted to know why the bed bugs weren't dying anymore, and why wasn't the Crossfire killing them. And I don't think that people quite understand how pesticides work. So a pesticide, when it's sprayed wet, is going to kill a bug quicker. It's going to absorb faster because it's wet, and you're going to kill the bug faster because it absorbs faster. But as it's dried, it only absorbs through the bottoms of the feet and through the underbelly because it's crawling over it. So it's not getting as much of an exposure to the pesticide. And also, the pesticide is not as strong as it was when it was first applied wet. So it doesn't die right away. I mean, you could sit there and you could watch it. You could put it in a jar and you could watch the bug. It will eventually die, but it doesn't die right away. And so after the chemical has dried, it may take 10, 15, 20 minutes, maybe even as long as 2 to 3 to 4 hours for the bug to die after it's crawled through a dried residue. So it's not going to die right away. You're going to watch the bed bug. It's going to crawl out. It's going to crawl across the surface, and you're going to think it's not dying, but it is. So it has been affected by the chemical. After a couple weeks, it may take the bed bug 8 to 10 hours to die. After a month, it may take the bed bug almost a day to die. And so that's when you would want to reapply the pesticide. If you're still seeing bed bugs after 30 to 40 days, you're going to want to reapply the pesticide so that you get a stronger residue that will kill the bed bugs quicker. Because the whole point is to break the life cycle. You don't want them to be able to lay eggs off of the blood meal that they're getting. You want them to die before they can lay eggs. And so actually, I would probably go so far as to say at the 3-week period, if you're still getting bit, you may want to treat then. Because that way you can try to break that life cycle even sooner and sleep more soundly and not get bit up all night long. But yeah, that new video, I've actually got the top 3 ways that people misapply Crossfire, because it's a video that I really don't understand why I haven't done a video like this before. But I actually get a lot of people commenting, and they say, well, this is what I did, and this is what I did. And I'm like, that's not really the right way to do it. That's actually the wrong way to do it. And you could end up hurting yourself because it's still a pesticide. Even though Crossfire is fairly safe, you follow the label. Always follow the label. The label's the law, which is why I've got these little things that come up like that. The label's the law. Yeah, the label is the law. I always drill that, you need to follow the rules to apply a pesticide. Pesticides are poisonous. They are chemically, they're chemicals. They are toxic to an extent. They do kill bugs, and you don't want to hurt yourself. So, or your loved ones or your pets or anybody else. Whether you're spraying for bed bugs, roaches, ants, anything. So, let's see. At Peace says, I can't believe this stream exists, but it's amazing. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm not even taking my clothes off. I'm not a Twitch girl or anything, and people are still watching me. That's pretty cool. Although people, I think, pay me just to keep my clothes on. Ice Mask says, I think I have hair bumps because mine don't hurt, but I don't have blood marks anywhere, so thank you. Yep, great. Moby says, can bed bugs die inside cars during a hot summer? They can. They can. It's not. I would usually recommend taking your car and parking it in an extremely bright, sunny area of a parking lot, like a Walmart, where there's no tree cover. All the trees have been removed, and it's going to get most of the sunlight throughout the entire day. In fact, park your car so that it gets all the morning sun. So you want to park your car kind of like, I guess southeast or is it southeast? The sun rises in the east, but it's not directly east. It depends on where you sit on the equator or in concordance with the equator. But you typically want to point your car in the direction that the sun will rise, so that the sun comes up and goes down over behind the car, and you're getting full coverage from your windshield to your Ice Mask donated $5 and said, please keep your clothes on.
Okay.
Because I made the joke, and I said that somebody said that they couldn't believe that this stream existed, and that it was really great or whatever. And I said, yeah, I'm not even a Twitch girl. I keep my clothes on. And Ice donated $5 and said, please keep your clothes on. Isn't he sweet? Such a sweet person.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not going to get naked. I'm not going to get naked at all. I'm going to stay clothed right here. Stay comfortably clothed. Talk about bugs. So, but let's see here. So I have a video. In fact, I'm going to play my preview video. Let's see. Let's do that. Scene. So for those of you that have TikTok, my TikTok page is tiktok.com. So they use the @ symbol for all their stuff. This is my TikTok page for anyone that's curious. But if you scroll down, this is my Tuesday video preview. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to try. I'm not going to promise, because more than likely I won't be able to do it. But I'm going to try my best to put these up every single week that I do a video, if I can get it up before Tuesday. I got this video actually done early. I edited this video, got everything done yesterday. I'm all proud of myself, and I've actually got 2 more videos to upload, and I'm in the process of getting my room ready. So over behind me, I don't know if you can see, like right over there, I've got a door. It goes into my laundry room. But I have set up a storage area over there with a table, and I'm going to do a unboxing video of the 3 different spray tanks that are still in the boxes, still haven't opened the boxes, but I have a video I plan on doing for Amazon. So it's not for Amazon, it's for you guys. But one of the top things I get, so I use B&Gs before I get to TikTok. I use a B&G, which is... This is what I use to do my pest control. It's a B&G. It's a stainless steel tank. It's got a rubber hose and a brass wand, and it's like $350. Okay? That's a very expensive piece of spray equipment, but it's a very professional equipment. It's what I use for pest control. It's a tool of the trade. So my wife has bought 3 different plastic 1-gallon sprayers from Amazon. She said they were the 3 versions that she would buy if she were going to try to do a bed bug job on her own. And so I have them in there. I'm going to unbox them. I'm going to show you everything you get. I'm going to rate them on a scale of like 1 to 10 on each different individual ability that the tank can provide you with. And so as far as all the parts and how well it's going to hold up to, a pesticide, all kinds of different criteria I have, and I've got everything set up just about ready to go so I can start filming that for you guys and give you an honest answer as to if it's going to hold up against a professional grade piece of equipment like a B&G, or if it would be worth buying it for a bed bug job or something like that. So I'm going to do that as soon as I can get everything set up. I've been working on it. The house is under construction. We've had a lot done to this house over the last year. In fact, I would have owned this house a year in 2 days. So the 3rd is when we closed on this house last year. But so Ice Mask says, yes, I found out why cars get so hot the other day. No way bedbugs survive because I got a car like yours, and yes, it left out 3 or 4 hours straight in the heat. It gets really, really hot in the car. Jennifer says, is it better to buy a secondhand B&G tank versus an off-brand metal sprayer tank? Yeah, I would. I get secondhand B&Gs are good. In fact, if you could get the B&G parts, if you could buy secondhand, then you can get the parts to repair it. If for some reason there's something wrong with it, you can get the rubber gaskets. Every part is available. You could buy the parts and repair it. Joey Watts says, hey, I want to say thank you for everything you do. I got your idea about using Crossfire. Man, it worked great. I used 2 treatments. I haven't seen one so far, and it's been 4 months. I have used 2 bottles a couple weeks apart. Fantastic. Great. Jennifer says, I noticed the B&G site, replaced. They sell replacement parts. Yes, they do. Oh, also, I've got... So, let's see. Let's go back home and go down here. So, I have a B&G affiliate link now. So if you scroll down to my latest video, I haven't put it on all my videos yet because I just don't have time to do it. I've got like almost 300 videos. But if you go down here to show more, here's my B&G affiliate link. You can click this link right here, and it will bring you up to Do My Own, which is, in my opinion, the best site to order your B&G from. This is where I ordered my recent B&G. I just got a pink one for my daughter. But that's the green. That's actually the one I use because I use the one with the green top. That's what I use for pest control all the time. And so, and I got the one, I put the one up with the extended band, which is the 18-inch band, the one that's easier to use. I find that's easier to use than the shorter wand. But it's still $358. But I feel like that's cheaper than $600, which would Amazon. You buy it on Amazon, you're going to pay $600. But they've got all the parts. So if you go down here, I mean, here's like the gasket for the pump. You can get that. And they send you, you can even get, like they send, typically with the tank, they will send you like an exploded image of all the parts that go into a B&G so you can order each individual part if you need to replace something. But as long as you do proper maintenance on them, they'll last forever. I've had mine ever since I've been in business. So anyway, let me get back to TikTok. I wanted to show my TikTok thing. So let me play this video right here. This is what I just put up this week, actually. Let me turn on my sound so y'all can hear it. Hey, everybody. This is Jason Akers again with Green Akers Pest Control. And today is going to be a little bit of a different type of video, one that I usually don't do, and I don't know why I haven't done one yet. But it's going to be about bed bugs, and it's going to be about what not to do with Crossfire. Due to recent comments that I've been getting, both privately and in my comment section of my YouTube channel, I wanted to go over some things that you really should not be doing with Crossfire because it is so effective. It is unbelievably effective to get rid of bed bugs. More effective than heat treatments, more effective than freeze treatments, more effective than really any pesticide out there. But I just didn't think I would have to come on and make a video like this. So yeah, that's what I made. I made that today actually and uploaded that. So that's like that's on my YouTube channel too. It's in my shorts. So if you go down, I started doing these. They're real difficult. I think I finally figured it out though. I think I have. But so anyway, they're supposed to upload on your phone so you can view them in like the up and down, up and down on your phone. that you're supposed to be able to see it there, and it just fills that whole screen, kind of like TikTok. And so I put it on TikTok and I put it on YouTube because I do both YouTube and TikTok. But if I can get 1,000 followers on TikTok, that'd be pretty cool. But not very many people use TikTok for pest control. They use TikTok for dancing videos and stuff like that. But anyway, I keep my clothes on TikTok too. So I need to binge all. Okay, say I hate this management in my building. I have been doing DIY with these damn bugs. It was working until the witch told me not to. I hate this management. Jessica said, I know it's rough when you live in apartments because a lot of times they do tie your hands. They won't let you do your own pest control. They won't let you kill your bugs. And a lot of the reasons a lot of management won't let you do your own pest control is because they typically have someone on hire that they hire to come out and do the job for you, and the people they've hired have said don't let your tenants do any pest control because sometimes it can void their pest control contracts if the tenants are providing their own services. So that's one of the reasons a lot of time management won't let you do anything on your own. But management typically tries to get the cheapest job, and it doesn't do as good a job, and so then you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Judah says, I'm going to have to wait and get some Crossfire. Let's see. I need to binge all of your bedbug videos and never had them, but I need to do everything I can to avoid them. After all these fleas, I don't want to deal with any bug ever again. Jennifer says, you might not want to like camping. I agree with that. I love to camp, but I hate bugs, and the mosquitoes love to attack me when I go camping. Judah says, you're very good at what you do. I like to think so. Let's see. I use a 3-step method: vacuum, steam, variety of sprays, which Crossfire is always in the arsenal. See, the thing is the problem with using a variety of sprays, vacuuming and steaming is good as long as it's always done before you spray. But the problem with using different types of pesticides when you're trying to get rid of bed bugs is a lot of the pesticides that you use will chase the bed bugs all over the place. And so there are very few chemicals on the market that are actually labeled as non-repellent pesticides. Crossfire is one, Temperate is one, Alpine is also non-repellent. And so the problem is that when you go and you mix something, like I saw a guy the other day posted on one of the forums that he was using Talstar to kill bed bugs. And Talstar is labeled for bed bugs, but Talstar is extremely repellent for bed bugs. Diatomaceous earth is repellent to bed bugs. Semexa is semi-repellent for bed bugs. And so the problem is that when you use a repellent with a non-repellent, you might as well not use a non-repellent at all, like Crossfire or Temperate or Alpine, because they are doing the opposite. They're opposite pesticides. And so it's one thing if you've got like a hotel. So if you've got a hotel or an apartment style building, and let's say you've got let's do drawing with Jason. So I did this the other day, and I think it was Jennifer says she liked drawing with Jason. So let's pull up paint. Let's pull up a paint here and do scene. So drawing with Jason. You've got an apartment building, and you got, wow, that's horrible. Let's undo that. I thought that was a straight line. Let's see. There you go. Now let's imagine this is your hallway, okay? So you got one room here, and then you got, let's see, 3 here, and you got 5 here, and 7. All right? And then you got, let's see, on the other side of the hallway, you're going to have room 2, and then you're going to have room 4, you're going to have room 6, and 8. All right? There you go. There's your rooms. And the doors aren't done right because whoever built this apartment was probably named Jason Akers. But anyway, so let's say your bed bugs are in this room. All right? Now, you don't have bed bugs in the first room. You don't have bed bugs in the 5th room. Let me see. How do I get this to scroll up so you guys can see it? All right. You have bedroom, the bed bugs are here. They're just in room number 3. So if you go in this room and you use a repellent, the bed bugs will go here. They'll go here. They may even go here and here and here. Because you used a repellent in that bedroom. All right? But if you use Crossfire, they stay here. They don't know anything's been done, so they're not going to wander around and try to get out of the pesticide. So what you do is you use a repellent in this room, in this room, and in these rooms, so that the bed bugs, if they try to leave this unit number 3, and they have to travel here, 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 or here, that's been treated with a repellent, so the bed bugs are naturally not going to want to go in those rooms. You use Crossfire in this room, so the bed bugs stay in this room, and they die in that room, and they don't venture out. And instead of having one person, you're not having 6 people affected, you're still only having just the one room affected. So that's the best way to deal with a bed bug infestation in either apartments or hotel living. And this goes the same for if you've got floors. So let's assume that, let's do back here. Now, this is the first floor, and this is the second floor. So if the bed bugs are in this room here, then they will actually go downstairs to the room underneath, and they will go to the room to the left and the room to the right if you use a repellent. So not only are you going to be chasing them, horizontally, you also chase them vertically, both up and down. So you need to make sure that if you use a non-repellent in the room with the bed bugs, this is not going to happen. You're not going to have this where it blows up and spreads them all over the place. It actually, it makes it a lot easier to get rid of them. Now, back in the day, all we had were repellents. That's all we could use. And in fact, I've done hotels this way, where I've gone in and I've treated all the rooms adjacent to the room that had the problem, plus the room that had the problem, with all repellents, and that's the only way I could get rid of the bed bugs. It takes a couple months to do it that way. You can do it that way, but honestly, I don't know if you could do it that way anymore, because most of the repellents they're immune to anyway. So, anyway, hopefully I try to do a graphic, because a lot of people understand graphics. So, and I don't have my tablet. I actually do have a writing tablet over here somewhere, but I don't have my tablet hooked up. Otherwise, I could have used my tablet and made it look prettier. They want to use Apprehend and Semexa. So Apprehend is really good. Apprehend is as good, or at least equal to or better than Crossfire. Apprehend is really, really effective on bed bugs. The only reason I don't recommend Apprehend on my channel is because you can't buy Apprehend. So the people who sell Apprehend, so let's go and look real quick. Now, I might be wrong, because it's not, far as I know, it's not really restricted use. But if you go to my channel and click subscribe, and then click a new window up here, because we're going to go to a new window, and we're going to search Apprehend. Apprehend pesticide. All right, and let's go to Apprehend's website. All right, and then let's go to order now. Okay, so we're going to buy it. The problem is these are your suppliers: BWI, Forshaw, Oldham, PCS, Target Specialty Products, or Vessi? Is that Vess? Yeah, Viserys or whatever. The problem is that these companies are all companies that I deal with. So these are my wholesalers. These are wholesale pesticide distributors. I actually deal a lot with Target Specialty Products. I actually have a sales rep that I deal with in Virginia through Target. And so the problem is that if you're wanting to get, and then if you go down here, you can give your business contact information. They're not going to sell to you if you want Apprehend, and you don't want to try Apprehend. The type of products you have to use for this, like you buy all this equipment, it's one bottle you have to use. It's very expensive, And then you have to get this applicator gear. It won't work properly. It will not work if you don't get the right applicator. It will not work. You're just wasting your money. And so all this stuff is pretty expensive, and you don't want to do it with Apprehend. You just don't. If you're going to do it yourself, don't use Apprehend. Use Crossfire. Crossfire will work. You may have to treat a couple times, but Apprehend lasts 90 days where Crossfire only lasts 30. So it's actually a superior product. The problem with Apprehend is that it's a mold spore that actually kills the bed bugs. And there have been cases, and I've done this on stream before. In fact, if you go to my YouTube channel and you search through my YouTube channel of Apprehend and actually bring up my live stream I did on Apprehend, I actually go over the pesticide and I explain why I don't use Apprehend because I could. And I just don't use it because, like I said, it's a mold spore, and there have been cases of people having rash reactions to it. Not really respiratory issues or anything like that, but people have been developing mild to semi-medium rashes from the mold itself. You have to use it on the bed where people sleep, and so I just don't use it in my business personally. Now, if for some reason it ends up being the only thing left that will kill bed bugs other than a stupid heat treatment, which I'm not going to do, then I would probably buy Apprehend then and use it because it's the only other option I have. But that's how I feel about the pesticide. Together with the Semexa cancel out Apprehend. Apprehend needs some moisture because it's a fungus. It doesn't need a lot of moisture, actually. The amount that it gets just from the mattress is enough to survive. It's not like a typical fungus. It actually attacks the exoskeleton. So what happens is the mold spore attaches to the bed bug, and it is a parasite of the bed bug. It kills the bed bug that way. It eats the exoskeleton of the bed bug. It doesn't work the same as like a regular mold spore that would grow in like bread or like a dirty moldy crawl space. Ice Mess says, learned the hard way when I used Raid a year back. I think Crossfire, and I used Crossfire and it stopped the bites. Oh, I got a sore throat. Been talking a lot today. I talk a lot every day. Danielle says, great graphics. I know that's some high quality polygons right there, ain't it? Moby says, how long does it take for a bed bug infestation? So, as far as a level of infestation, you can get infested in just one day. I mean, depending on, where you brought them from or how many different stages you brought into your home. But bed bugs are something that, typically within 6 months to a year, you could be completely infested with bed bugs because of the way they breed. But it takes them about 3 to 6 months to build up enough of a population to where you actually start to see them all the time. And then from 6 months to a year, that's when they really explode, and you start getting them like up around your ceilings and around your window sills and around your curtain rods and places like that. But if somebody were to bring in a whole mess of bed bugs, like in their clothing, maybe in their cuff of their pants, or a luggage bag or something like that, then they can go pretty extreme pretty quick, especially if you've got females that can lay eggs already. Then yeah, you can get bed bugs quicker, but usually it takes about 3 to 6 months to get infested with bed bugs. On a level of infestation that you would be concerned with, basically. So, for anyone interested, like, comment, subscribe. I do live streams every Thursday night. I do videos every Tuesday. I actually have a video already uploaded for Tuesday. I actually so I have a Discord. Ice is on my Discord. If you go and click the link in the description below, I do have a Discord link there. And I actually scared him today because I posted. I always post the screens for my videos. I always put them up on my Discord channel, and so I posted my latest thumbnail for my newest video, and this is the one that I used. So that's the picture I used. So that's my latest thumbnail for my newest video coming Tuesday. That's my thumbnail. So that's going to get people who watch me interested. It's not really going to broadcast out to a whole bunch of people. So, you know. Because I talk about Crossfire, right? That's something I'm interested in. Why are you telling them that? I wasn't scared. Well, anybody could come in and read it. But he said, oh, is Crossfire no longer good? And he says, you can't be playing with my emotions. That's what he said. He said that. So maybe I just made him sad. I don't know. And Judah says, let's see, human brought these demonic bed bugs here. Oh, it's awful. They're awful. But you can get rid of them. The thing is, it's really easy to get rid of bed bugs. The thing is the problem with living in an apartment, and this is one of the biggest issues with living in any kind of housing, you know, where someone else owns the building you live in, whether it's a landlord or a property manager or whatever, is that you're pretty much at the mercy of whatever rules they have in place. If they tell you that you can't do your own pest control, then you pretty much have to follow that rule. That's a problem. And, you know, what do? You know, you may just need to move. It's not in the cards for everybody, but I would try to talk to the pest control. You know, if you've got a pest control company that's coming in and you know who's coming into the apartment, I mean, what does it hurt to ask? What does it hurt to offer up and say, look, we're having this problem with bed bugs. This is like the third and fourth month I've been dealing with these things. They're not going anywhere. They're not getting any better. Have you ever heard of Crossfire? Send them to my channel. Let them watch my videos. You know, some guys have actually switched to Crossfire just because they've watched my videos. Because the thing about pest control, and this is one of the things you need to understand about pest control, and this is the same for me as it is for anybody else, is that there are new pesticides that come out almost every year. There's always a new product. There's always a new salesman pushing a product, trying to get us to buy something. And not all products work. Not all products are good. And if you're on the fence as a pest control technician or a pest control company, and you're wanting to switch to something that works better for the bug problems that you're being faced with, what's better than a recommendation from another pest control company? You know, the thing is I'm using Crossfire myself. I actually have 2 bed bug jobs I have to do tomorrow. I'm going to use Crossfire because I'm getting almost 100%. Almost. Not every time, but almost 100% knockdown with just one treatment. It's really, really, really effective. So if you're on the fence and you run your own company, or you're a technician and you have some kind of an influence and you can tell the boss, hey, we should try this new product, then try it, see how it works, it's worth it. If you're not getting any progress where you're working now, what is it going to hurt to use something that, I mean, what you're doing isn't working. So why not switch to something else and try that? You know, if it doesn't work, then where are you? You're just the same spot you were before. But it will work. It is really, really good. So, anyway, we just discovered that we have bed bugs. No idea on how or where they came from. So what would you recommend on me using to get rid of them on a very tight budget? Crossfire. The thing is Crossfire is not the cheapest pesticide in the world. It's not. It's not at all. So the problem is that the equipment to apply the Crossfire, you know, if you've got to buy pesticides, then you can spend a lot of money trying to get rid of your bed bugs, but you'll spend even more money failing getting rid of bed bugs. So I have lots of videos on how to kill bed bugs. This is from Angela in chat. She said, we live in a house and have neighbors on both sides and across the street with farmland. All right, so you don't have to worry about your neighbors if they're living in houses away from you. You have to worry about neighbors when they live in the apartment next to you. If you live in a duplex or a triplex or an actual apartment building where you have neighbors right across the hall where they're only feet away, not, you know, yards, 30, 40 yards away. The bed bugs are not going to travel 30 or 40 yards to get to your house. They're going to travel 10 feet, 20 feet maybe, but not, over 100 feet to get to your house. So that's something you need to understand. And if you go, I mean, I've got lots of videos on YouTube. If you go to my YouTube channel and you go up here and you just search, actually, I recommend searching extensive, extensive. And I really wish I had used a different word. But if you click and you type extensive, this is the bed bug treatment that I did on a house back almost 4 years ago. It says 3 years, but it's been almost 4 years ago. It doesn't have that many views. It's got like 46,000 views. But that video right there is what I recommend going and watching that video. I talk about it on stream a lot because it's, you know, it's I do a bed bug job and I show how to do it. But that's the video. And then the pesticide you want to use is you go to my bed bug. Oh, I just remembered. Okay, so you see this? I just added this to my supply list for bed bugs. If you're going to use a 13-ounce bottle of Crossfire, buy this bottle. Now, you might be able to find a cheaper one because I just put this. This is 12 of these little bottles. You may not need 12. You might be able to buy a single. But pour this in here. This bottle is, I don't know if you can see very well on that, but it is a half ounce. It's got a half ounce graduation and it's got a full ounce graduation. And you use 6.5 ounces to a half gallon of water. That right there will mix half a gallon. You can actually mix however much pesticide you want, and you don't have to use this whole entire bottle of Crossfire anymore. You can mix it in this chemical safe squeeze bottle, and it will squeeze in 1 ounce, pour it in, 2 ounces, pour it in, 3 ounces, pour it in, you know, and you can get exactly what you want, exactly the right volume of Crossfire for however many gallons you're going to mix. Whether it's a half gallon, which is what I recommend, so that you don't waste this. Because if you mix this in a gallon of water, which is what you're supposed to do, it's 13 ounces to 115 ounces of water, you're not going to use it all, and then the Crossfire you've mixed is going to be worthless because it turns into a jelly mess, nasty stuff. It doesn't work. So what you do is you pour this directly into this bottle, and then you mix from this one. That way you've got the right dosage, and it's a chemically safe bottle, so it's not going to cause any problems with the plastics or anything like that. And you're only going to get the exact right amount that you need to mix it the right way you're supposed to mix it. So I put those up there because I found them on Amazon. I'm like, oh, that's what people need. People need that bottle. That's the thing. So there you go. But that's what my chemicals come in. I mean, if you go to like, let's see, let's go back to that flea treatment. If you go here and you click like this Excite R, this is an IGR. See, it comes in one of those bottles. You squeeze it, it goes in here, it fills up this little cap here, and then you take this cap off and you pour it in your tank. And so based on what this label says, however much pesticide you're supposed to use, that's all that you get. And then the rest of it stays completely safe inside that bottle, never used. You can store it in a cool, dry place, and you can keep it for a couple years. Won't go bad, and you've always got it. And you don't have to go and buy one of these big, gallons, because this is the gallon of Crossfire. It's actually got, a really nice tip and pour. That's a tip and pour measure, so you have to pour it, and you tip it in, and you look at the graduation, so you can get like 6.5 ounces right there. And, yeah. So, anyway. Will you make a video on how to mix pesticides if you haven't already? I have done one. So, let's go here, back up to the top, let's hit subscribe, and then type in how to mix. Alright, how to mix Crossfire. Now this is a short. I've got this same video on TikTok, by the way, but this is a short on how to mix Crossfire, but I actually have a video on how to mix Crossfire and Alpine, and this is a longer video. But this one, let's see, share, copy, and this shows how to mix Crossfire and Alpine. So, in a one, it's only 1 gallon, but you get the idea. It's it should be mixed that way for every chemical, because the way you mix Crossfire is you let's see. So the way you mix Crossfire is you pour your water and you pour your gallon container half full, pour the Crossfire in, and then fill it the rest of the way up. That way you get a total gallon of Crossfire. And so that's the way I always recommend to do it. So you get an equal amount and you get the right ratio, the right mix ratio. But that's the way I do it. But if you're using that little squeeze bottle, then you just squeeze up however many ounces you want to a gallon and you mix it that way. Can you mix IGR with Alpine? Yeah, you can. You can. For fleas, yeah. I wouldn't use it for bed bugs. IGRs don't work on bed bugs, but something like Nigard or Exciter, they're both IGRs and they will kill fleas. I haven't used my Crossfire yet. Slowly decluttering my 20-year-old home, family of 5. So afraid I won't do it right. You will. You'll get rid of them. No worries. You'll get rid of them. So let's go back up here. So Angela, like I was saying, if you're on a tight budget, you want to make sure you spend the money in the right place. You don't want to waste your money. The problem is there's so many pesticides on the market that are a waste of money, even though it's not a lot of money that you're wasting. If you figure a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit more, you actually end up spending a lot more money than you realize. It's better to get what works in the beginning and do it right off the top. So that's why I recommend Crossfire. Excuse me. Oh, tired. But that's why I recommend using Crossfire, because you're not going to mess up. It does a really good job. I call it my idiot-proof pesticide because anybody can do it. You don't have to have, some kind of amazing, 23, 24 years of experience, 30 years of experience. Jennifer Ballesta says, can you put the Crossfire mix in a plastic spray bottle? I don't recommend it. Like a bleach bottle, I don't recommend it. Danielle says, because of your live streams, I stopped thrifting. I don't want to risk it. That's good. Angela says, we live in a house and have neighbors on both sides and across the street. Oh, yeah, I read that earlier. I got 5 bites in one day. Does that mean I have an infestation? Okay, so one bed bug can bite you 5 times, so it doesn't mean you have an infestation. You might just have one bug. You might have 2. You might have not have very many at all. Jennifer says, I seen your video on scabies. I did not know that raccoons carried them. Any other wild animal? Yeah, raccoons, possums, skunks, rats, mice. But typically it's predominant in things like possums and raccoons, because typically those animals will get in and actually live under the house, where predominantly mice and rats live outside the house and come in looking for food. Raccoons and possums will actually den in the house. Groundhogs can carry scabies, but they typically burrow underground, so you won't get them from groundhogs as bad, but you will get them from other types of animals. That's the first video I've ever seen, and boy, I felt glad I wasn't that infected. Oh, yeah. That's a good video, isn't it? Jennifer says, I could have used that bottle months ago. Will you make a video on how to mix pesticide? Already read that. Can you mix an IGR? Already read that. I haven't used my Crossfire yet. And then Mob says, have bed bugs become resistant to Alpine? Yes, actually they are. There was a study done at Virginia Tech that claims that bed bugs have actually started to develop a mild resistance to Alpine. The problem, I think, with Alpine, and the reason the resistance is starting, is because Alpine is just one ingredient. So let me explain. So if you go to, let's just open a new window here. Alpine WSG label. All right. So Alpine has one ingredient, dinotefuran. I'm going to say that's what it is. I am probably wrong. So let's zoom in so you can see. That's the active ingredient in Alpine. Just one active ingredient. The Crossfire label. All right. is three. Three active ingredients. So one of the reasons that you use a pesticide with more than one active ingredient, and some pesticides actually allow the mixing of other pesticides with them, like IGRs and other things, because the whole general idea is if the bug is immune to one chemical, then it's probably not immune to two chemicals, and really rare that it's going to be immune to three chemicals. But what this is this is a very specific chemical formulation. These are the two chemicals that actually kill the bed bugs, and this pesticide right here, pipronyl butoxide, is more like a catalyst. And so what it does is it causes bugs that develop immunity to pesticides to have a harder time building that immunity to pesticides, if you understand what I'm saying. There are several factors that cause a bug to develop resistance. Sometimes it's just a matter of breeding. So let me give you an example. If you have an infestation of 100 cockroaches and you kill 80 of those roaches, the 20 that survive were chemically immune or resistant to the pesticide that you used. It may have been through genetics. It may have been that they have a thicker exoskeleton, so they're not absorbing enough of it to die and the chemical wasn't strong enough to kill them. Either way, that's actually a technique called selective breeding. So what you're doing through pesticide elimination, you're selective breeding out the stronger of the group that can actually withstand the pesticide. And so within a few months, you have a super roach that pesticide can no longer kill any of the roaches. You'll go and you'll have 100 roaches and none of them will die. And the reason none of them die is because they've been selectively bred through elimination into this super roach that's actually immune to the pesticide. That happens with bed bugs too. But the pipronyl butoxide is a tool that's used in the pesticide to actually stop that from happening. And so it causes the pesticide to last longer, so that as far as in the market, it's going to actually outlive other pesticides that actually have problems where the bugs are becoming immune. My question is, which should I treat first, my bed or the cracks and crevices? I worry if I do the bed first, if there's a lot of bed bugs. Spray it all at the same time. What I do is, so I flip the mattress up, I lean it up against the wall, I flip the box spring up, take it off the bed frame, I treat the bed frame, I treat the bed rails, headboard, footboard, all the cracks and crevices all over the bed rails. Then I turn my target to the box spring. I take the felt off the bottom. I treat all around the staples, all inside the box spring. I treat the box spring. I lay it back down on the bed frame like I'm putting the bed back together. I treat the top all around the seams, and I treat the top of the box spring. And then I turn my attention to the mattress. I treat all the seams all the way around the mattress. I treat the bottom of the mattress. I lay it on the box spring. And then I treat all the way around the band of the mattress, paying really close attention to the seams because those are the places the bed bugs like to push their bodies into. And then I treat the top of the mattress and I let it dry. And that way the whole bed has been treated. It's all put back together. All you have to do is wait till it dries. You go in there and you make your bed. That's how you do a bed. That's the proper step-by-step process in treating a bed for bed bugs. While the bed is off the frame, I recommend treating the baseboards behind the bed. So like behind where the headboard sits, maybe your bed's up against the wall and the maybe one side's against the wall. You treat the baseboard now while the bed's off the frame so you can see everything, because the bed bugs will live behind the baseboards just as much as they'll live on the bed. So that's the steps I take to treating a bed. Every time, always the same, every single time. I treat the bed the same way. Couches, flip couches upside down, treat around all the legs. If the legs screw them off, treat under the legs, screw the legs back on. I don't always open the felt, but sometimes I'll just make like a slit in the felt on the bottom of the couch and treat inside the couch. Sit the couch back up, pull the cushions off the couch, treat all the zippers around the cushions, push your body on top of the springboard and get all around the edges of the mat where the springboard touches to the back of the couch, and all around the arms of the couch, anywhere where the arm connects to the back of the couch where that crease forms, treating that crease. Any crack and crevice on the couch, treat every crack and crevice, put everything back together, wait till it dries, and you can use your couch again. So If your bed is on the floor, if you have a box spring that lays on the floor or a platform bed, you want to treat the area underneath the box spring where it sits either on the floor or on your platform bed, because those are areas that come into contact with the box spring. So you want to treat those areas all along underneath the floor, and then you lay the box spring on top of that area. You treat it as if it's a platform bed. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. The kid and the cake story. Okay, so this is good. This is my favorite euphemism for getting rid of bed bugs and why Crossfire works so well. So I'm a father of 3 children. I have a 4th child due at the end of October. So we're going to have 4 kids. My youngest is almost 3. He'll be 3 in the middle of October. So I got 3 kids. I've been through this several times. And you take your child and you sit them down at the table and you put a nice big piece of delicious chocolate cake. I mean, it's the most delicious cake you could imagine. I mean, and if you don't like chocolate, it could be, I don't know, confetti cake or something. But anyway, it's cake. It's delicious cake or pie or whatever dessert you like. Maybe it's just ice cream. Whatever your favorite dessert is, that's what it is. All right? And the kid's sitting at the table. And so imagine you're the chocolate cake laying on the table. And the kid is the bed bug. And the table's been treated with Crossfire, which is your bed, right? And the bed bug doesn't know the bed has been treated, so the bed bug is going to naturally crawl out from wherever it's hiding and crawl up to take a bite of this big old piece of delicious chocolate cake, which is you. You're the snack laying in the bed, that delicious snackety snack. And the bed bug just will come up and go, and just eat all over that chocolate cake, which is you. So this is what you got to understand. If you leave your child alone with a piece of chocolate cake and you tell that child, don't touch that cake, and that child doesn't think it's going to get punished, that child's going to eat that chocolate cake every single time because it doesn't think it's going to get punished. And the bed bug doesn't know it's going to die. So it continues to crawl out to bite you, and that's the way it works. So that's this chocolate cake story that Ice Mask likes, and he thinks it's funny. So I will tell it to all of you so you all understand how Crossfire works. That's why it's so effective, because it doesn't impede on the bed bug's natural instinct to feed on a host. The bed's treated. The bed bug doesn't know it's there. The floor is made of lava, all right? It's just the bed bug can't see it. And when it crawls up, it dies. Now, it doesn't die right away. And so if you're here early, be sure to catch the VOD later and watch the beginning of my video. I go over this. I actually am going to go over this in my next video on Tuesday. It's already uploaded. I just need to do a couple of tweaks to it to get it up on stream for Tuesday. But my videos go live every Tuesday at 6 a.m. And my live streams go live every Thursday night after 9:30. Tonight, they didn't go live until 10 o'clock because I was busy with the babies. I put the babies to bed. Once the babies are in bed, then, I've got this routine with my kids. I take my kids up to bed and have to tell them a story. I have this story, this character that I've invented, and I have to tell them a pirate story every night. And I've done this since my daughter was little, since before Charlie was even born. And so I am required to tell them a bedtime story that I make up in my own head every night. I have to go up and tuck the kids into bed. And sometimes it takes longer than others because they're like, oh, another story. And I give in and I do it. Because I don't see them a lot during the day. I'm always gone. So I spend a lot of time with my kids in the afternoon. That's when I get to play with the babies. So sometimes it's just bedtime, but I still like to do that. And that's why it takes me so long to get on here some nights. So if I'm after 9:30, I'll usually come on unless something comes up and I can't make it. Otherwise, I'm always here. You can be guaranteed I'm usually always here every Thursday night. After 9:30, I'll be here. So Mob says, do you think I might use Crossfire the wrong way because I still have bed bugs even after using Crossfire? So the thing is how long ago was it that you used Crossfire? The issue is that people use Crossfire and they think it's a magic bullet and they think it's going to work right away, instantly, boom, no more bugs. But that's not the truth. That's not the way it is. So bed bugs actually take weeks to kill because you have to wait for the hatchers to hatch out of their egg. The egg takes 6 to 10 days to hatch. The baby takes 6 to 10 days to bite you. All right, for the first time. So that's like 2 to 3 weeks from when you first applied the Crossfire to that baby coming out to bite you for the first time. So 21 days ago, those eggs were laid, and they're just now coming out to bite you today. You understand? Tomorrow, 21 days ago, the same thing. The next day, 21 days ago. So you can still get bit several days in a row, even after 2 to 3 weeks, because those bugs are babies. They're just now coming out to bite you. They come out, die. So you can be bit multiple days in a row, even after spraying Crossfire for up to a month after you spray it. That's why I tell people, if you're still having problems after the 3rd to 4th week, you need to reapply, because you had a worse infestation than you originally thought. And that would require a second treatment. And that's what I tell my customers too. I tell my customers the same thing. I don't force people to buy 2 and 3 month contracts. I just tell them, I'm going to do it one time. If you still see bugs after like day 35 or 40, call me. I'll come back out. We'll take care of it then. But there's no reason to call before that, because otherwise you're just wasting your money. Give it time to work and then come out. Then call me to come out. Do I really need to totally take my headboard off and take apart the metal bed frame, or just spray all over it? I recommend taking if they're screwed to the headboard, then there's no reason to take it apart. I wouldn't go that far. But if you've got the type that has the little metal brackets that actually fit in and slide in the slot, I would take them out and spray in the slot, because the bed bugs do live in those slots, and it does make it easier. And then put it back together. That's what I would do. Do bed bugs get hunted by anything? Yeah, birds and bugs and stuff eat them. There are different things that eat bed bugs, spiders, stuff like that. Judah says, I don't have a platform bed. Okay, so you treat the floor as if it's a platform. That's the thing. So the floor is your platform bed. So you have to treat the floor underneath your box spring where you lay your box spring down. You treat it as if it's a platform bed. So if you had a platform bed, the way you treat a platform bed, you treat the headboard, footboard, bed rails. All right? But in a platform bed, a lot of times you don't have a headboard or a footboard. You just have the platform. So you treat the platform. You see, you may even have to take the platform up and treat inside where it connects to the frame that it hooks to the floor on. But if it's just a floor, you treat the floor underneath the box spring. And all of the baseboards in every room. Is it fine if I sleep on carpet floor if I have bed bugs as I get bites on my bed? I mean, yeah, it's fine. They're going to find you in the floor and bite you there. Yeah, I would sleep in the bed. I treat the bed and sleep in the bed. Imagine a bed bug Stalin Hitler. Oh my gosh. Jennifer says, naturally, a sheet is put on the treated mattress. The husband perspires heavily because he covers up with blankets even when the temperature is 95 degrees, so the mattress gets wet. That won't hurt the mattress, though. Does the Crossfire on the treated mattress, when it gets wet, will it cause health issues? No, it won't. It will not cause your husband. I do the same thing. So I have a problem where I sweat really bad. I get night sweats horrible at night. I've got the exact same problem, but it will not cause issues with the Crossfire. If you get night sweats, it won't cause a problem. Mob says, I've been using Crossfire once a month for 6 months and I still have it. You're probably bringing them in from somewhere you don't realize. You may have infested your car. You may have friends and family bringing them in. You may have children bringing them in. There's lots of ways you could get bed bugs. It may not be bed bugs. So this is going to sound weird, because you may have actually found bed bugs on your bed. They may look identical to bed bugs, but they may not be bed bugs. If you have bats living in your attic, bats carry a parasite that is identical to bed bugs, except they have different hairs and stuff on their body, which I think I went over this last live stream. I talked about bat bugs and bed bugs and the differences. But I recommend, the thing is there are other bugs that are like bed bugs, that look like bed bugs, but aren't bed bugs. And if you have a parasite, like a bed bug, living in your house, then that may be what you're having problems with. But if you've been treating once a month for 6 months for bed bugs and you still have bed bugs, then they are obviously coming from somewhere else and you just haven't tracked down the source yet. That guy says, "Hey Jason, I've decided to go with Alpine to kill the fleas in my house. Just wanted to ask if I vacuum after it dries or do I vacuum after a day?" Vacuum after it dries. You can vacuum that day. It doesn't hurt. You're not going to take the Alpine up off the floor by vacuuming the floor. It's not going to hurt the Alpine. It doesn't turn into a dust. It doesn't come off the floor. So this is one of the things, I was actually talking to a customer about this today. I was explaining some of the things that are silly that are told to me by customers. So a common thing that customers will say is they will say, "Oh, don't worry about those pots and pans. I always wash them. You can spray in that cabinet. It doesn't matter. I always wash them before I use them anyway." Pesticides are designed to bond with the surface that you treat them with. So they don't rub off. They don't really wash off, not very well. The only way that you can wash pesticides off of a surface when they've been treated on a certain surface is by using either a specific type of a chemical solvent or a special type of a soap to wash them away. They don't just wash away that easily. So when you treat your mattress and you treat your box spring or you treat your couch or your love seat, and like Jennifer was asking about sweating profusely, just because you sweat on your bed does not mean you're going to wash the chemical away with your sweat or that you're going to absorb the chemical because you're wet. That's not the way it works. It bonds with the mattress. It stays with the mattress. It doesn't actually come off that easily. It's something that even if you were to wreck and cause a problem and hazmat comes out, they have to use a chemical solvent to actually dilute the chemical into something that won't hurt the environment. Or they have to dig it up with bucket trucks and stuff and take the dirt away and burn it and get rid of it that way. So it's not something you can just get rid of. That's why chemical spills are taken so seriously by hazmat and the Department of Transportation and those groups, is because they're not that easy to get rid of. It's not like you could just throw your dishes in the sink, wash them, and be okay. There's actually going to be a pesticide residue still on that dish that you washed. "Hey, Jason, I've decided to go." Okay, I already read that. Kathy says, "When I asked about whether to do cracks and crevices first or treat the bed first, I mean cracks and crevices along the bottom of the wall. What if I treat the bed first and there's a lot of bugs?" It won't matter. You can treat either. I treat everything at the same time. So when I go in to do a house, I start working to the right. I treat along the baseboards. And as I get to a bed, I take the bed apart, I treat the bed, I put the bed back together, I continue along my way. So that way I get every room. And I always work to the right or I work to the left, and I never miss a room because I stay with the wall and I kind of work my way around and I do everything. We do a drawing with Jason again. Let's do another drawing with Jason. Let's see here. So just to give you an idea of my routine and the way that I do a pest control job. So what I do, and there's another paint, is let's say you have a room, big old room. There's my living room. All right, let's make it a little bit littler. I can't afford a big living room. And then we got a room over here, and we got a room over here, and we got a room over here, and maybe we got a bathroom right there. All right, so what I do is I come in. Let's see. Let's do a brush. All right. I walk in the house and I go do spray that baseboard, spray this baseboard, go in this door, spray this baseboard. Oh, there's a bed. I pull the bed apart, and then I spray this baseboard, I spray that baseboard and this baseboard, and then I sit the tank usually right outside the door, and I take the bed apart, treat the bed, and then I continue along, and I do the bathroom, come back out, and then I go into this room. So that you see the way that my mentality works is I never miss a spot because I don't break routine, and I go all the way around all these rooms and I've never really missed a single spot. And that way I can look at it, and the guy's like, well, did you get this room? And if I'm over here, I'm like, well, yeah, I went through that room because I did this. I did that first, and then I went and did the next room. So I make it a routine to go around the same wall. And that way I spray the baseboards, I treat the baseboards, I treat the crown molding, windowsills and stuff where the bed bugs hide. That way I'm always on a routine. I've always gotten the right routine down. I do it the same way every time. I've done it the same way every time since I was 12 years old. So it's always done the same way every time. So that's the way that I recommend doing any kind of pest control in your house, whether it's for spiders, ants, crickets, bed bugs, roaches, anything. And that way you don't have to go behind yourself because you came in that way, you went through and you did every room. Even if I come into the back door, it's the same way. If, like today, I had a lady that actually, when I walked in the door, she said, let me show you something on my back deck because it's been bothering me. I've got ants back there. So we went all the way through the house, and I started on the deck and worked my way backwards. So I actually did the house in reverse. But that way I don't forget. Because I go in a lot of houses every day. I would forget what I did if I didn't, have a routine. How do you put the crossfire in the wall sockets? I don't. You don't spray in the wall sockets with crossfire. You just treat the baseboards and around the bed frame and stuff. And like I said, couches and stuff like that. And yes, mysteriously said that you're just going to get bitten on the floor. You will. The bed bugs will just bite you on the floor. Kathy says, so if the bed bugs flee, shouldn't I spray the cracks and crevices first so they'll run over it if they happen to run? We're lucky enough to get to flee the bed. It's not going to matter. The thing is, it's not going to matter. Okay, so let's go back to this horrible picture that I drew. All right, so you've gone through the house. All right, you sprayed the baseboards in the house. You don't have to spray the baseboards. They're not that fast. But the point is that let's say a bed bug is over here. All right, there's a bed bug. There's a big old red bed bug full of blood right there. All right, he got away. You sprayed the whole house, but he got away. He's not in the best pesticide. We missed him. Oh no, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to put the bed back together. There's the bed right there. There's your bed. Big old comfy square bed. All right. Now tonight, you're asleep. Let's see. Let's do black. Let's do like a little man here. This, and let's do some arms and some legs. There, you're asleep. These are Z's. This is the best I can do with a pencil. All right, so you're asleep in the bed, sleeping there, all comfy. Now, the bed bug is hiding here because he got away when you took the bed apart. So what he's going to do is now he's hungry. So he wants to bite you. You spray with crossfire. The bed bug doesn't know anything's been done. So he comes out of the wall, crawls across the crossfire, and then he dies. Man, that's horribly done. Now he's dead. So even if the bed bugs get away when you're treating, you don't have to kill every single live bed bug. They are going to die on their own eventually anyway. They're all going to die. The problem is that you're worried about bed bugs that get away. But the thing is, they can't get away because they're living in your house. They have to come out to bite you, and when they do, they die. So this is absolutely going to work every time. The thing is, you don't understand. In the wall, there are eggs laid in the wall. There are little eggs in the wall. All right, these are eggs. It's just, let's see, this is an egg like this. I do like this. There, it's like a little Yoshi. All right, there we go. Because I'm a nerd. All right, you got an egg in the wall. That egg has to hatch. That egg will hatch in a week to 10 days. That egg wasn't on the bed when you took the bed apart, but that egg will hatch eventually. And when it does, that bed bug will come out and bite you too. And so because you've treated with a non-repellent pesticide, they don't know it's there. They come out, they bite you, they die too. So they all die. It's equal opportunity. Every single bed bug dies. That is how it works. Has anyone hit the like button? That's a good question, Jennifer. I don't know. Has anyone hit the like button? How many likes do we have? Let's see. How many likes do we have today? Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to tell you. Let's see. 27 are watching right now. I only have 16 likes. Oh, come on now. Y'all can do better than that. Y'all can do better than that. So, anyway. So if you spray a blanket and it dries and wash it dry, the chemical will still be on it. Now, there is a difference between clothing and sheets and comforters and things like that. Because you're washing them, they're totally submerged in water, and you're using solvents, you're using things like detergents, that will take the chemical out of your clothing and out of your belongings. But there is specific wording on the Crossfire label that says, take off contaminated clothing, rinse skin immediately with plenty of water, 15 to 20 minutes, call Poison Control Center if a doctor for treatment advice. This is if you have been extremely contaminated, if you've soaked your clothing. In fact, most pesticide labels will actually recommend that if you soak your clothes, you should, it says here, wash thoroughly with soap and water before handling or before eating, drinking, chewing gum, using tobacco, or using the toilet. Applicators must wear long sleeve shirt, long pants, shoes, and socks. Follow manufacturer's instructions for cleaning, maintaining PPE. So here, let me show you this. So here's the box I'm reading right here. So it says discard clothing and other absorbent materials that have been drenched or heavily contaminated with the product's concentrate. Don't reuse them. So if you have soaked your clothes or soaked your sheets, comforters, pillows, pillowcases, you need to throw them away. Don't reuse them. But if you just sprayed a little bit, it says right up here that if skin on clothing, take off contaminated clothing, rinse skin immediately, wash water 15-20 minutes. So you could do the same thing with your clothes. You just wash your clothes like you normally would. I mean, the thing is, I'm in pesticide every single day. I use chemicals every single day. I spray above head. The drift comes down. It gets on my clothing. I can't avoid that. That happens. It's a mist. It's not a lot. I'm not soaking myself in pesticide, but it does get on me, and I can't avoid that. It gets on my hat. It gets on my clothes. So I wash my clothes, and it will take it out of the clothes. But what they're talking about here is if you get seriously soaked, I don't know how you would do this. Honestly, I have no idea how you would be soaked in pesticide. You should never be soaked in pesticide. In 30-some years of doing pest control, the only time I've ever come close to being soaked in pesticide is if I'm doing an understructure for termites and it sprays back and hits me in the face. And that's like the worst it's ever happened to me. I've never actually drenched myself. I've never sat in pesticides and soaked my pants or anything like that. It just doesn't happen. So, just don't do that. Be careful. Don't do that. Does heat really get rid of bed bugs? It does. Heat will get rid of bed bugs if the bed bugs can't escape from it. So like in your washer or your dryer, if you have high heat water and a high heat dryer, then yes, it will kill the bed bugs. It does kill them. But as far as in a home, it's not very effective in a home because there are cold spots the bed bugs can retreat to. The likeliness of a successful heat treatment is less than 80%. The likeliness of a successful crossfire treatment is much higher. If you follow the label, you're going to get much higher results and positive results than you will with a heat treatment. That guy says the video's at 23 likes now. Oh, it is 23 and 26 people watching. See, that's more like it. That's nice. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I want to say now, how long have I been streaming? I don't even know how long. How long have I been streaming? Do you know? I know it's like almost 11:30. I don't know. Anyway, the point is that I want to just mention to you guys right now, I appreciate everybody that shows up for the live streams. I appreciate, Jennifer, Ice, Kojin's not here tonight. Usually Kojin's here every night. I appreciate everybody that shows up, asks questions, talks to me. I remember when I first started doing live streams 4 or 5 years ago, I'd maybe have 1 or 2 people in here, and I just would have to talk about something, and that would be my discussion for the night, and I really didn't have anybody to talk to. And some of my live streams only lasted 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes long, but I just sit here and I'm talking I started at 10 o'clock. It's now 11:30, and I haven't shut up since. So I just appreciate you guys here talking with me. It's been great. I really enjoy talking about bugs. I'm obsessed with bugs. I like it. So, gone almost a month. Sprayed Crossfire twice. Hubby insists he spray since I take care of our baby. However, he is adamant we do not have to spray the entire house, just our bedroom. Well, if you get rid of your bed bugs that way, then that's great. But typically, I recommend treating the whole house. And Doc Bones says the only good bug is a dead bug. That's a funny story. My friend, my son's friend, best friend, he was at a birthday party. And he asked me, he said, I know you kill bugs. And I said, yeah. He's like, what's your favorite bug? And I said, dead bug. And he said, no, really, what's your favorite bug? And I said, the dead bugs are what make me a living. I like dead bugs. They make me money. Live bugs get me complaints. Dead bugs make me money. I like dead bugs. So I agree with that. My questions were long-winded, and it wouldn't let me ask my question all in one shot. That's why I had to ask you in 2 questions. I loved your drawings and how you work a room. Love you, Jason. Let's see. You give me hope. These bugs spawn as Satan. Most people don't like talking about bed bugs. Well, I do this almost every live stream. These are my friends. There's one. There's another one. There's another one. All right. I have bed bugs right here. This is a feeder tube. So it's a mesh. That's a mesh right in there. You can't tell. The camera doesn't really show it very well, but I can do this. Take the lid off. See? There's bed bugs in that jar. I'm crazy about bugs. I'm crazy. So but honestly, I only have these here to show people. These are dead. These have been dead for maybe about a month now, but they're dead. I show people these bugs because people ask what they look like. And so I have them here to show you what bed bugs look like. I still have them in a plastic bag. Even though they can't get out of this. I'm still paranoid. I'm not going to let them out of this plastic bag. But anyway, that's bed bugs. Jason, you're so awesome. To take time to answer all these questions is wonderful. I've learned so much from listening to you answer the questions. Thank you. You're welcome. I hit the like button for sure. You and your family have an awesome holiday. Appreciate all your help. What's everybody doing for the 4th? Everybody gonna watch some fireworks? We got some fireworks. I like to set them off in the yard. I get the little bitty candles, the little ones that you kind of light with the kids, and they're fun. That's what I always liked as a kid. That's what me and my wife, I've grown up with my wife. We always set off the little candles, and we have the one big one, that costs way too much money, but it's it shoots off the little whistlers and stuff, and it lasts 10 minutes. And that's pretty much all we do. But the little kids love it. They run around. They like it. So that's what we're doing for the weekend. Black Queen says, thank you. Our bedroom is the only place we have seen them in the past 2 months, so hopefully it will work. So does heat work on bed bugs? Asked again, I said. No, not really. Not well. So, but. Oh, Jessica's got twins. That's nice. Maybe we'll have twins, Alicia. No?
No, I don't think we're having twins.
That'd be cool. Wouldn't that be cool?
It would be a lot of work.
It'd be a lot of work, but it'd be cool.
It'd be
fun.
Cool. My aunt had twins. I was there.
Yeah, it'd be
when
fun.
She had twins, and I helped her because I was 15.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep on the toilet on like the second night.
Yeah.
No,
What? What?
So it's not like I.
Wait a minute. You fell asleep on the toilet?
Yeah, so the
Was the smell that bad?
No. I went to the bathroom because usually what I would do when she'd wake me up was I would go to the bathroom and use the bathroom and then come down with one of the babies.
Okay.
Or I would actually be down in the bathroom when we went to go get the babies because she kept them on a schedule, a feeding schedule.
Right.
And so it would take both of us to get them down, they change their diapers, and we were up every 3 hours.
Well, yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Even with the one baby, you're up every 3 hours.
Yeah. So I would help with the babies, and she was still breastfeeding too during that first. I was there for like the first 6 weeks. I was there helping, and it might not have been the second night, but it was maybe the third night. Instead of going to the bathroom, what I did is I walked into the bathroom, sat down on the toilet. I was fully clothed. I wasn't sitting on I was sitting on it like a chair.
Okay.
Laid down.
Okay.
And fell asleep.
Most comfortable chair in the house.
On the toilet.
The golden throne.
And my aunt, she wake up both of her boys, and she went downstairs, and she's like, well, I wonder what happened to Alicia. You know, because I was in there, obviously, for quite a while. And she finished feeding them both and diapering them and everything. And she came up, and she said, I was sitting on the toilet snoring. And she's like, honey, why don't you go to bed? So she let me sleep through the night that night.
Well, see, Jessica here, she said it would be fun, and then she laughed. And kids are a lot of work. I got 3. I got a 4th on the way. In fact, one of the reasons that I do, so I have a 24-hour pest control business. This is what I do for a living. If I had a call right now on my phone, which my work phone's right here, if my work phone rang, I would go out on a job, even though I've been up since, 5, 6 o'clock this morning. And I would still go out right now, and I would do the work because the call came in. I'd go do it. And because I don't have anybody that works for me. It's just me and my son. So I'd get up, I'd go out, I'd do the work. And because I like my job, I enjoy my work. But the point is that the reason we went 24 hours is because I have children. I actually had a guy one time, he called me for bedbugs. I drove all the way to Charlottesville at 12:30 at night. I got there at 12:30. I didn't get back home until 3 or 3:30 the next morning. Or 3 or 3:30 that morning. It was about a 4-hour trip. I left the house at 10 because I was like an hour and a half from Charlottesville. Hour and a half, 2 hours from Charlottesville. It took me until 12:30 to get to his house. I got in his house. We killed his bed bugs. Came back home. I pulled in, laid in the bed, 3:30. All right. He told me when I was at his house, he's like, how can you do this? How can you run a business and drive all this way to kill bed bugs and then go back home? Are you even going to be able to make it home all right? And I looked at him and I said, you have not had children. I said, when you have children, you will realize that sleep does not exist in the same way. I even said, I made up this joke right there on the spot, and I said, I kind of remember what it was like to get sleep, but I think it was a dream. I really do. It's like one of those things where you remember what it was like to be a kid. Like, it's summer break, and you're sleeping till like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's just the best thing ever, and you get up and you play video games, and you run around outside, and you ride your bike, and it's like the best fun. Now, it's like my son is 2.5. He comes in the room, jumps up on the bed, and he will take his knee, just like bam, like that, in my most tender places at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I am required to get up. Because if I do not get up, he will make sure I get up. Because he will come in there and he will put he's potty training, so he will take his pull up and he will put it right in my face and it'll smell like pee. Or he will roll around on me and kick me in my places I don't want to be kicked in. And he will make sure I get up out of bed. Because that's what kids do. They are the best alarm clock in the world.
You also have a wife that that wakes up at the least bit of noise until like
Yep.
last night I wake up because I heard Emma at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Chatter. And then I woke up at 5 and woke you up because I said I think I heard a door close, and it was the littlest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we wake up all night. We're up all night. You don't really sleep after you have kids. You don't, because you're always worried about
Every
them
little
anyway.
creak, every
And
little
when they
noise.
sleep well, like they're sleeping so good, right? They're sleeping so good. You're like, what's wrong? There's something wrong with one of them. One of them hasn't gotten up and smashed me in the face with something. There's something wrong. And so you get up and you go in there and you look and you make sure they're okay, and you get back into bed, and as soon as you crawl back into bed, you hear one of them get up, because it's like, well, I was stupid. I went in the room, I woke them up. I should have just stayed in the bed. Why couldn't I just stay in the bed? It's like, that's the way it is with kids. So, but kids are wonderful. I love my children. I'd have 100 of them. I love kids.
But Emma, she's the one that really whipped us into parenting.
Emma was so hard.
She was so hard.
Oh,
didn't
she was so
sleep.
hard.
She
She didn't sleep at all. She still really doesn't sleep that well. She's an insomniac. So Gabby Rose says, I've been using WSG for a couple of months now, but I'm still seeing roaches. What else works to get rid of these things? So usually it can take 2 or 3 months to get rid of roaches, even with Alpine. I usually recommend using a bait along with the Alpine. Excuse me. Because the bait you can use places that you can't use the Alpine, and so you use Alpine typically in cracks and crevices, and you can bait some cracks and stuff with the bait, and the roaches will come and eat the bait, and the Alpine will kill them too. But you need to make sure you're not actually continuing to reinfest with the roaches, because roaches typically come from, I mean, look back at yourself. Look back on what you've done within the last like 3 to 5 months. Have you been to any restaurants? Have you been to any Chinese restaurants, Mexican restaurants? Have you been to any of the, small, I call them the rinky-dink, smaller grocery store chains like the Safeways or something like that? These are places that you can pick up cockroaches and bring them home. Grocery bags, paper bags especially, if you get paper bags. These are ways that you can get roaches in your house. People will bring them in. I actually used to do a house years ago where it was a home in-care nurse that was actually bringing the roaches in her purse, because she had roaches at her house. Of course, she kept her purse at her house. The roaches would crawl in her purse, and then she'd go in and take care of this elderly person and bring the roaches in her purse into her kitchen, because she'd go in, put her purse on the kitchen counter. Roaches would crawl out of the purse, and then they were right in the kitchen where they wanted to be. So look into that. See if maybe you're bringing them in from somewhere. Change your eating habits. Don't eat at the same restaurants. Don't visit the same people, and maybe see if that helps, if you start noticing fewer and fewer roaches, because you're not accidentally bringing them in when you don't know it, because it is so easy. It is so incredibly easy to bring roaches in your house. I did a roach job one time years ago. I was like a teenager. I was still living at home with my dad, and I moved out when I was 20. So I'm 39. So it was a while ago. It was at least 20 years ago. I did a roach clean out, and a roach crawled on my boot and crawled underneath one of my shoelaces, and I didn't see it. I didn't know it was there. I got all the way home, 45 minutes we drove from the last job we did to get home, and I went to go use the bathroom, and it crawled out of that shoelace and crawled down the floor and tried to crawl up underneath the commode. And if it had crawled there and gotten there, it could have easily laid babies underneath that commode, and I would have had roaches there. So it's very easy to transport them. If they get on your clothing or your shoes, or even in the cleats of your boots or something like that, if you walk into a place that has roaches, it's very, very likely that you're transporting them back home. But typically, I tell people 3 to 6 months to get rid of a cockroach infestation is the norm. So it's absolutely normal treating once a month to take 3 to 6 months to get rid of infestation. And the reason that is because roaches lay eggs, and the eggs don't hatch for 28 days at least. So some roach eggs will hatch 16 days. Some roaches will hatch 28 days. Some roaches will take 30 to 45 days to hatch. And so this is one of the problems, is why it takes so long to get rid of a cockroach infestation. That's just how long the eggs take to hatch. So, but I am going to call it a night. I'm going to head on to bed. You see me, I'm sitting here yawning, still talking to you guys, because like I said, I get excited when I get to sit here on my live streams. But like I said, pay attention to the channel. Be sure to subscribe to me if you haven't already. because I do videos every Tuesday, every live stream, every Thursday night. And click the notification bell so you know when I'm live. So you can be like Jennifer and Ice and be here as soon as I get online. Because they're here fighting over who was first in the chat every single time I'm here. So you guys have a real great night. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you guys can sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite. So I'll see you later.